This high-end auto body shop in northeastern Philadelphia, a team of expert restoration technicians have taken on the most unusual assignment ever to roll through their doors.
Wow, there's a lot more to this car than I thought.
The Amphicar, a vehicle so rare, only 500 still exist worldwide. The special challenge will be to restore what is not only a car, but a boat. They have just 12 weeks to completely rebuild this unique classic to have it ready for the auction block.
It's not seaworthy. Everything here is rotted out.
But with a car this rare and this old, can they get the replacement parts on time?
That pushes us 10 days behind. Will this be watertight?
I hope so.
We have a problem.
The experts will soon discover
I hear something tinkling.
that this challenge may just sink their dreams of a profit. Alan Lewenthal is the go-to guy when it comes to rare classic motor cars.
Finding these rare cars and being able to bring them back to life, that's a goal I've always had, and now I can live it.
Scouring backyards and barns across the USA, Alan picks up derelict collectibles he can transform from oldies into goodies at his Philadelphia body shop.
This is where the fun begins.
A 1932 Ford, that 125,000.
Many of Alan's auto restorations end up in auction.
125,000.
They sell for big dollars, and this lure of a fat jackpot keeps Alan on the prowl.
Sold.
So, a place like Smithfield, Rhode Island wouldn't slow you down unless you're rolling retro. Then it's worth a pit stop. Alan's headed up here just 50 minutes outside Boston, where another classic car enthusiast, Tom LaFeria, exhibits his treasures. Alan's come to buy a rare classic. It's a car that floats. Tom's longtime love for the collectibles covers a wide range of automobiles, starting with the car that changed his life, which he saw at the movies when he was only 12.
So, Tom, to me, this looks more like a problem than it is a hobby. How did you get started?
Well, watching Chitty Chitty Bang Bang too many times got me started. Fascination with the old T Speedster here, the Auburn Boat Tail Speedster. And I just love these early automobiles. This one here is a 1906 Wayne.
Beautiful car, beautiful car. But I don't think this will float. So tell me what we're here to see today.
We're here to see a 1967 Amphicar.
I'm very excited. Why don't we go see the Amphicar, and you can tell me more about it.
Wonderful.
Great.
During the spaced-out 60s, one of the strangest cars in history surfaced. Imported from Germany, Amphicars were the only mass-produced amphibious vehicles ever sold to the U.S. public. But just a few years after it arrived on American shores, U.S. emissions laws were beefed up. The Amphicar couldn't adapt, and the production line was shut down. In its heyday, more than 3,000 of these car boats cruise the highways and waterways across America. Today, only 500 are known to have survived worldwide.
Well, under this cover is a 1967 Amphicar.
For rebuild wizard Alan Lewenthal, finding an Amphicar, a retro gem this rare and strange, could be an opportunity to make big bucks.
You gotta be kidding me. Wow.
Isn't that something?
Well, I gotta tell you this right away. You can't replicate things like this, right?
The New York inspection certificate.
I can tell you, New York's pretty strict about inspections.
Yes.
So this has not been inspected since then.
1975. And still the original New York boat registration numbers are still there.
Wow. This is what barn finds are all about.
Right.
Finding unique finds, and here's a car that's 32 years sitting, original paint. It floats. Need I say more? The car is a boat, and it's a car. It has propellers. It has nautical lights outside the car, and great things that are going to be fun to restore. It's a fun part of American and German history. This whole story behind this car is great. Let's pop this open.
Okay.
Let's see this
You have
beast.
the all original.
Nice.
Amphicar motor,
Wow.
intact.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
But Alan knows that what appears to be an original motor isn't necessarily so. The only way to make sure it's an original is to match the numbers on the manufacturer's ID plates with those on the vehicle's motor. It's important that they match, because otherwise, the auction value of this rare classic sinks.
Okay, Tom, I have my handy-dandy cheat sheet on the location of the numbers on the car. This is the vehicle identification plate, and from the records that you sent me, it does match correctly, so we're good there. We have a year of production, we have chassis number. Now we're gonna check the engine number, and the engine number is GK1738, HE. So if you can get that, if you want to do it, Tom, just
See if I can get in there and get that
let's rub
cleaned
away
up.
some grime and see what we see.
All right.
GK.
GK1738 HE.
Sweet.
Matching numbers.
So I am very, very happy. This is going to be exciting to restore, I can tell you. I love that it still has its original paint. The original tag is still on it from New York. Wow, what a find. It may be rusty, but it is original. And that's what the barn finds are all about.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
All right. If I have to put this on a scale of 1 to 10, as an original find, this car is a 9 or more. It's 30+ years of sitting in a barn or in a garage, a true barn find. And that's what we look for. We look for unique, authentic, original cars that has still survived. There we go.
Hopefully, Alan's appraisal is accurate, because barn finds can turn into valuable collector cars or costly nightmares. Alan pays Tom $15,000 for the Amphicar. Now it's back to Philly, where he's hoping his crew can turn this retro ride into a classic gem. In just 12 weeks, there's a major car auction in Boca Raton, Florida.
All right, let's get her uncovered. Show the crew what we got. All right, so what is it? Everybody knows what it is, I hope.
It's a boat.
It's a boat, right. It's a boat, it's a car. It's a 1967 Amphicar. The vehicle was sitting in a garage since 1975. I want you guys to really, get your hands dirty, get in the car, check it out. The rust is an issue, but it's not so bad. But just give me your initial reaction to, what do you think about it?
Cruises like a car, drives like a boat. That's what they always said.
What do you think, Tal?
It's neat.
All right.
These older cars are fairly simple, so they're not that difficult. It's just figuring out how everything was put in there so you can take it out again. Hopefully it's a piece of cake. But that's how they all start out, as a piece of cake. And then they crumble quickly.
So what do you think, guys?
I think it's rusty.
It's not as rusty as I've seen, though. I mean, this is not bad.
Alan has seen Amphicars go at auction for as much as $115,000. So the crew's assessment of the job is crucial.
She's not seaworthy. Everything here is rotted out.
Holes in a car are not so bad. Holes in a boat? Definitely bad. Alan's betting on the expertise of his crew. But whether a potential buyer is willing to pay him the steep price tag of $100,000+ is a pricey risk.
This car is a very big roll of the dice for me. An odd car, somewhat known. Many people you talk to about Amphicar don't even know what it is. This is a big roll of the dice. I'm hoping for 7 winner.
Alan's playing the odds that his crew's rebuild reputation can make him a winner in Boca. First up, taking the entire car apart, down to the last washer. Then, in less than 12 weeks, do a complete rebuild and hope for a big payoff. With the auction still weeks away, Alan is putting his money where his heart is. And it's hard not to fall in love with a vehicle as unique as the Amphicar. The Amphicar design is based on a watertight boat chassis which houses both the transmission and the drivetrain. The Amphicar's front wheels guide the vehicle both on land and in the water. The exhaust system is uniquely positioned high above the waterline. A double latch seals the doors. Together with the waterproof openings for the wheel axles, they make this rare classic amphibious.
Water goes all the way up to the transmission. And that seal, if you can focus inside there, you'll see that there's a seal around that axle shaft that keeps the oil in and water out. That's a pretty slick deal.
With the teardown complete, it's time to do an inventory of all the chrome trim that needs to be replaced.
After all the chrome stuff has been sorted through, here's where we're at. Exterior door handles.
Probably can't plate the originals. They're pitted and they're pot metal.
Yeah.
And once they got them stripped, there'd be a lot of hand work.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think he can do it.
I left the bad news for last.
What's that?
The hood light on the front of the car,
Yeah.
not available.
That's no good.
So we have ours is plastic, is a little bit
Ours
cracked.
is crazed. The
gonna have to use
plastic's
it.
crazed.
We're gonna have to use it.
It's not available. It's not available. You know.
Yeah.
You'd buy it if you could, but.
So I'm gonna get the rubber pieces for the outside, all the chrome stuff that we need, and then we're gonna get them to see Don and get stuff plated.
Okay,
All right.
sounds good.
Good.
Yeah, it's a plan.
While the chrome gets ordered, it's time for the Amphicar's body to get naked and expose any hidden blemishes. In a process called media blasting, baking soda strips away paint and primer down to the bare steel. It's a thorough cleaning, but the team gets some bad news.
Found a couple trouble areas up front here that we didn't realize were that bad. It's all gonna have to be cut out, have a new piece built, and all welded in solid.
The next stop is the body shop. The big challenge here will be to make the Amphicar watertight again, which will require more than just filling a few holes. Just 7 days after arriving at Alan Lewenthal's restoration shop, a rare 1967 Amphicar body has been stripped down to the sheet metal. Unfortunately, a thorough media blasting reveals more corrosion than expected.
It's not seaworthy. Everything here is rotted out.
Off it goes to the body shop. Resealing the chassis is going to be a massive patch job. It looks like the Amphicar was driven up on the shore a few times, which damaged the floor pan and put a large lump in it. Now the pan needs to be made flat again.
It's been beached a number of times, so it's how every time they come in and run the bow up on something, it's all pounded this floor pan up, and I'm trying to straighten it before we start cutting out and trying to patch. Try not. The object is to concentrate a dime-sized red-hot piece of metal, and what you do is you hammer it into the molten area. And then once you do that, you want to quench that with a cool rag, and what it does is it draws all that extra metal, and the excess metal is taken up now and it's laying flat.
3 hours and a little elbow grease later, the floor pan is nice and smooth again. Now, the corroded section of the floor pan can be cut out. The edges are smooth, and the area patched with a new piece of steel.
How's it look?
Good, good, it came out nice. Got it shrunk down. I mean, it's
It's a lot straighter than it was.
yeah, it was. No holes in it, too. That's the important part.
No holes.
No holes. So far, anyway, or not that I know.
Well, we're gonna seal it.
We'll find out.
We're gonna seal it.
We'll find out.
You mean when it goes in, it just keeps on going?
Yeah,
like this?
we'll just have to make sure we have a lot of bubble gum, that way we can plug them up.
With the Amphicar restoration on schedule, Alan has time to hit the road for a spin and an earlier makeover.
Oh, baby.
Alan wants to take this one to an event where he also hopes to find the still missing hood light and hubcaps for the Amphicar. This baby is a '69 Chevelle.
The car was an original SS396 convertible. What's so special about this car is all the options. It's got air conditioning for a convertible. That's a very rare option. Has vacuum power door locks, power windows, power seat. The list goes on and on. There's not any reproduction parts on this car, so it's pretty impressive. This is definitely the showpiece for Marquis right now. Our goal was to get it to the national championships within the year.
Only 2 weeks later, Alan has packed the car off to Hershey, Pennsylvania. It's his first shot at winning a national prize at the Eastern Antique Car Fall Meet, one of the largest auto classic car shows in North America. It's a big deal. There are more than 1,500 show cars on exhibit here every year. And for all the gearheads, it's a chance to show off. While the Chevelle is not on the auction block, Alan is curious how classics are selling. And while he's gauging the market for his Amphicar, today his hopes are high for his blue '69 Chevelle.
Jimmy,
Hey,
what's going on, man?
how you doing?
Took a walk down the class. This is the car to beat. It's just hard to believe how beautiful the car came out.
Well, I like to think so. I think it's the one to beat, huh?
Any comments on this yet?
No, not really.
Okay.
People are talking about it, but people don't want to talk about your car in front of you, so I see people walking away and they're saying things. So I have only good feelings about the way it's going to be received here.
Alan hopes the Marquis Chevelle will win first place, if only the judges cooperate.
Hi, I'm Brenda Shorkaiser. I'm going to be your captain today.
Yes.
I've got your team here. If you would be so kind as to open up your doors.
Yes?
And be careful walking around. We have somebody that's going to be looking at your chest. Yeah, I really don't want to knock them out.
You're gonna be looking at your chest?
Oh, wow.
The judges will be looking at the details and the quality of the restoration. Their opinions are crucial because each award bumps up a car's value. So for the Chevelle, this is now the moment when the rubber meets the road.
How many cars are in the entire meet today?
Today, there's 1,299 cars here and 472 judges.
Okay, three cars per judge.
It seems that way, but
Seems
we
that
do
way.
have more.
I'm sure.
All right, you ready?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
The die is cast. The car has been judged, but the results won't be released for another 2 weeks.
Well, now we wait.
I'm excited. Hope we win.
Yeah, me too. I hope we're top dog and, we're a 400-point car. That would be great.
With the Chevelle taken care of, it's back to the Amphicar. Hershey is the largest automotive flea market in America, so Alan and Jimmy shift gears to go shopping for parts. But no luck, not even a door handle. Instead, they find a whole car.
Check it out. Whoa! Wait, we couldn't find parts, but we find a car just sitting. Let's
Right.
go check it out. Whoa.
Now, what would you
is
expect
this
to
your
find
car?
one of these here?
Yes.
Unbelievable. We've been searching for parts and literature and information on these. Here we go. We see one sitting right here. Tell us about the car.
Well, this is a '67 Amphicar. They made them obviously from '61 to '68 and about 3,800 total run, and they made 4 different colors. This is not the original color on this one.
What was this?
This was a 40 green car.
That's what ours is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that the apricot interior?
This is actually the yellow white interior. The greens came with the apricot and white interior. This one runs pretty good. We use this one all the time. This is always in the water. Yeah, it offers some unique challenges if you're thinking about restoring one. You know, if you have any type of rust or anything in here, it presents some challenges sometimes.
Well, on this, rust is a sinking ship, as they say, right?
Yeah, it's the only car, what I like to say, it's the only car that has the right to rust.
This is true. You're right about that, no doubt.
You're gonna have probably some issues finding some parts and everything, but all in all, mostly everything out there you can find for these cars now. It just takes a little bit of hunting. The majority of the car you can still find repop.
Great.
Alan's in luck. Ron gives him some leads on where to find the elusive hubcaps and other crucial parts.
Thank
Ron,
you.
thanks.
Thanks
Good
for the
luck with the first
information.
hunt.
All right.
Inspired by signs of progress, Alan is revved up to get the Amphicar's bling back at the chrome plating shop.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Alan.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Good. I brought you an interesting one this week. Amphicar. What do you think?
That's an Amphicar.
Not bad for 40 years old, though.
No, it's really not. I mean, really, the only bad piece here, I think, would be this
Right.
vent window frame.
Right. So you see anything we can get started on?
Yeah, maybe we could do a handle.
Great.
Get a little idea what's going on.
Cool. Let's check it out.
All right.
Replating chrome car parts follows the restoration formula. Tear down the old and build it back new. A dip in the sulfuric strip tank gets rid of the old chrome plate. A blast of tiny glass marbles that explode when they hit the surface exposes the pits in the metal caused by years of oxidation. A round of sanding knocks down the edges on the pits and sharpens up the contours. A jolt of electricity makes the handle repel or attract mineral ions in a process called electroplating. Copper electroplate fills the pits as the handle passes through a series of acid baths laced with blue copper salts. During the monitored final stages, first nickel, then chromium ions fuse to the handle, and bling bling.
Okay, Al, we're done.
Let's see what it looks like. Whew, I love it. Absolutely beautiful, like usual. All right, well, you have everything here, and you know what the timeline is, so it's going to be under the gun. We need this done yesterday.
It's the name of the game.
Next week is good?
Next week's fine.
Great.
Yeah, we can handle that.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Thanks, Don.
You got it.
All right.
Thank you.
It's 4 weeks into the restoration. Both the hood light and the hubcaps are missing. Crucial mechanical components like the water pump should have arrived long ago. It could derail their schedule.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. You know what this guy did?
What?
He just got around to packing this stuff up. He's had this order for 2 weeks, and he promised me he was going to leave 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
If I didn't call him today, you know what he would have done? He still wouldn't. He took it to his local post office. I can
What
have my
would we have
6-year-old.
done without him?
I can have my 6-year-old do that.
Yeah.
That pushes us 10 days behind.
Yes, it does.
And the stuff he's sending us is what you guys, Dave, needs for the mechanics of the car.
Yep.
Dave, our reliable source in Canada, another 10 days.
10 days.
10 days. It's still going to take another 10 days. It's been 2 weeks already.
Parts are a minefield. They are rare and expensive, and unreliable suppliers cost Alan extra money in overtime.
Week that those parts get delivered, it's gonna be a long, long week. A lot of long hours, and just gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, it's the first time something like this has happened. Just get used to it, I guess. You gotta make the deadline, so gotta do what you gotta do.
But there's another problem. The body still won't float. A rusted out section of the rear quarter panel needs to be cut out. A new matching piece fabricated. And then the whole thing's got to be welded into place to make the chassis watertight. The team is working on a boat this time, not just a car. And that's what worries Alan.
Will this be watertight?
I hope so, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna weld it continuously, and if my welds go well,
Are you telling me I
it
should
should be
get it?
watertight. It would make sure you have an extra PFD. Personal flotation device. That way, if it does
How about-
go under,
I'll make sure everybody has life preservers.
yes.
All right.
And one of those big lifesaver ones that we could toss out there, little
on
sailor's hat.
10 days later, the bodywork is grinding on and on. The parts are no longer the only source for the delay. The crew's top quality bodywork brings in awards and high auction prices. But there's a downside.
Right now, we're under a deadline. We're trying to produce this car for a major auction to get it there on time. And, you know, every day that goes by, clock is just ticking away. Now they're under the gun, and now they feel the wrath of my shadow being over them every minute, saying, where are we? What's happening? I just want to make sure that, you know, if we're going to live and die by the days that we're going to say we're going to do, Let's just, you know, we're under the gun for every one of these restorations. I just want to make sure we can get this done.
It's gonna get done.
It's just that right now,
Yeah, it's stress. Everybody's gonna freak out because
there are
everybody's
jobs
stressed
that we
out.
do around here where everybody enjoys them and we're not under the gun and the customer's like, you know what, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then you have a due date.
Right. Yeah.
Now everybody's saying, wow, there's a lot more to this car than I thought, even though it's a small car.
I already knew that, but I convinced myself that it wasn't gonna happen just so I can keep going with it. So, you know, everybody's gotta do what they gotta do.
With the schedule slipping, Alan's got to alert Jeff that he won't have much time to prime and paint the car.
I just had it out with Jimmy about the timeline, and he goes to me, Wednesday we were going to be in primer, and here we are Wednesday, and there's no primer, and they're still screwing around.
Well, yeah, they've been telling me, you know, since last week that car was gonna be ready.
What's a timeline once they're done with body?
Once they're done with the body work, as far as into paint or
No, I wanna
me
know-
being done?
Well, you're never done, but what I'm saying is that you're gonna get the car, I don't know when. I'm just telling you, I don't know when.
A crew of high-end restoration experts is racing to rebuild a rare car boat from the 1960s. Extensive repairs on the chassis and the search for original parts has put them way behind schedule for an upcoming auction.
That pushes us 10 days behind.
Master restoration artist Alan Lewenthal is going deep into the hole on this job. He's already 6 weeks into the grueling process, and time's running out. Now under the gun, Alan's team pushes to restore the Amphicar's body to its original condition and prep it for a date in the paint booth. Everyone's burning the midnight oil as the clock ticks away.
It's very stressful because I get 5 days. Every day they take away, that's it. I've got 5 days. Now I'm down to 3. It's not really an option whether I can do it or not. It has to be done, and whatever it takes is whatever it takes.
Every inch of the car is covered with a high-end automotive paint to protect the body from rusting when exposed to the elements. A proprietary color-matching process recreates the original fjord green exterior. 4 coats of primer, 4 coats of original paint, 3 coats of protective clear finish, and Shazam! You've got an Amphicar that looks like the day it rolled off the assembly line more than 40 years ago. Now it's time to doll it up.
Yeah, so these just came in from Europe. It's one of the rare finds that I found through someone, which is an original set of Amphicar hubcaps instead of using replicas. These are beautiful. I mean, they're a little pitted, but look how great the clarity of them.
Yeah.
Before, after.
Shiny parts are one thing. Now the question is, will their plan to get the pieces back together work? Without a ship-shape motor, the whole operation could be lost at sea. Incredibly, the 4-cylinder Triumph engine is still in great shape.
I think that was it.
After a thorough cleaning and a basic overhaul, it's good to go.
Well, the goal is to try to get it back the way we took it out. It seemed like it came apart pretty easy the way we took it apart. So we're gonna start with what we took out last. It's gonna go in first, and we're just gonna try to retrace our steps from there. We're flying blind because a lot of the stuff I have no idea where it goes. So it's just gonna be problem solving. Hey, that looks good there, and that's gonna be it.
Putting a vehicle back together is tricky, even for veteran mechanics. Some things are obvious and go pretty quickly. But this is a foreign car and a boat. The surprise factor can be huge. The Amphicar has a unique transmission setup. A standard 4-speed stick shift sits side by side with an alternative water transmission that uses 1 forward and 1 reverse gear for cruising the deep. The control lever engages the twin nylon propellers that generate speeds up to 10 miles an hour. And inside the cabin is an electric bilge pump for bailing out any excess water that splashes in. It's a lot to keep track of.
Got it? Hang on a minute.
Can you push it in anymore?
No.
All right, then we got other problems.
When you're taking a car apart, things pull apart, 1, 2, 3. No big deal. When you put it back together, you're much more careful. Every piece has to go together exact, and you have to be cognizant of everything you're putting back in the car so you don't scratch it and damage it. Takes a lot longer.
It's just,
And you can press the other side?
it doesn't want to do it. I'm asking, I'm trying to be nice about it, but it's just not working with me. I'm just gonna have to get mean with it.
Go for it.
Retro rebuilds sometimes defy ordinary logic. This axle doesn't seem to fit back into the housing it came out of.
What I failed to notice was that those drive shafts slide and they extend, I guess, when the suspension goes up and down. And because they've been sitting so long, extended, and the plastic's hard, that it wasn't moving the way it should have been.
Applying an industrial-strength hairdryer called a hot air gun softens the plastic housing. That seems to do the trick.
Oh, no. There's a lot more in there now. Look. That's it. Gold!
To be classified as an authentic restoration, every part has been refinished or replaced. From tires and wheels to the door seals. Custom-made replicas substitute for missing parts. Expertly fabricated, even the factory engineers would have a hard time spotting one. In the hands of our restoration crew, the Amphicar is turning into a collector's gem.
Oh, look at that, perfect.
It's starting to look pretty good, but perfection comes at a price.
We're already a week behind where I thought this car would be done. Out of my life, done. In the garage, sitting, waiting to go to an auction. And now we're still a minimum of another week away. You know, every day that goes by, you have 1 or 2 or 3 guys on that car, add up the hours. So now there's more money today and more money tomorrow for this car. I don't know when it's going to end. And my concern is, are we going to ever get to a break-even point? There's 80,000 sitting there, total, or more. Unheard of for an Amphicar in any market. The hammer price at auction is what's going to make or break the deal. Are we going to make money? Are we going to break even? Or are we going to lose money?
I hear something tinkling.
Wow, this is not good. A leak is a major problem, and they've just got to get this car running.
The bushings in the water pump are bad, and it's leaking through them. The coolant's leaking out. And basically everything up, radiator's got to come back out, water pump's got to come back out, and we either got to find a new one or have it rebuilt some way, get this thing done on time.
If Alan's team can't fix this problem, the car boat goes down the drain.
All right, let's get the rest of the car wrapped up and we'll decide what we're going to do here. It's not going to stop us from putting everything back together. It never ends, man.
And it's only getting worse. With time running out and costs climbing, Alan calls in the big guns.
Oh, dear Lord, you West Coast gods, please send me another part. That's $4,000. And we'll see if it gets here, but UPS will be nice enough to send it to us. The car will be completed, ready to sail, and we will have the water pump in the car. Trust me. Been down this many times. I have faith in my team. We'll get it done.
Hopefully, the auto parts gods will ship the water pump quickly. But the Amphicar has a British-built engine, and no one's sure it'll work.
Let's just take this out. Let's get the water out of this, get this radiator out, and let's just get it started. I like to hear it run. If I got situations with anything else in this thing, I'm done. Again, we're ticking down to the last minute. I don't want to do that. I want to start it.
You don't have a spark. No! This spark.
Quiet.
All right. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, so we get our water pump in there and then we'll...
Go, Dave!
Good job, bud.
Now all you gotta do is fix the water pump.
The gods have granted Alan a favor. The water pump arrives the next morning. Now all the parts can go back in. The Triumph rear engine is reassembled, together with all the components that define this classic, including the exterior trim package, matting, lighting, seats, and interior accessories. Finally, the chromey bling turns this rusty barn find back into a sexy funmobile.
Feels solid.
Very firm. Oh yeah!
We're gonna drive it on the highway and test it, make sure everything runs okay. We'll check it out mechanically, and then we're gonna put it in the water. And from there, who knows? Maybe I'll get into boating again like I did when I was a kid.
Prop check.
Beautiful.
9 weeks into the rebuild, and it's finally time for a test drive. For Alan, it's an emotional moment.
It's like letting a baby go. It's tough. It's cool though. It's very cool. I'll see when they get back what their reaction is to how it performs.
It's like driving an old Volkswagen. You got first gear, 2 miles an hour, second gear, 4 miles an hour, third gear, 15 miles an hour, and that's where you're cruising. 70 miles an hour in that car has got to be frightening.
We're gonna see in a couple seconds. Let them pull up to the door and let's see what their reaction is. This is gonna be interesting. Let's see what they have to say. What do you think?
Very noisy in here.
Yeah?
The team will have to tweak the cabin noise, but the outside looks great.
You gotta love that light. Not for highway driving.
Oh, yeah.
It's only for being on the water.
With the near-perfect restoration completed and the first road test behind them, the crew can see the finish line.
All right, we're done. We're done. Sell it. Sell it. Sold.
Good job, guys. Good job.
The next morning, just when Alan thought his perfectly restored Amphicar only needed the finishing touches, Dave notices a problem. During last night's test drive, the navigation light overheats.
I put the wrong bulb, wrong style bulb in the nav light. She got a little too hot and melted it. Now, looks pretty bad.
The original lamp casing is made of plastic, and it's the only one they've got.
We have a problem. Holy moly. Look at that. Oh.
Good idea if I was at lunch right now.
Yeah, it'd be a really good idea. Did you know about that?
Yeah.
That's from the heat of the bulb.
Just how much the damaged light will diminish the Amphicar's value is a mystery. But one thing's for sure, what was a perfect restoration job yesterday now has a blemish.
I know you don't care.
Yeah, but
It's clear Dave's in the doghouse. His minor mistake could be a costly one.
It's an original light. There are no others to be found. We've searched high and low to find a replacement because we like everything to be perfect, but sometimes new old stock is new old stock. It's got defects from over the years, but you have to use what you have. If you can't get a replacement, we're going to use it as it sits.
A dedicated team working round the clock on an urgent deadline is putting the finishing touches on a 40-year-old classic vehicle, the Amphicar.
Hey guys, go to the river.
After a scary moment with a leaky water pump, these car gurus have patched up the problem and conducted a successful road test.
Good job.
Now that the Amphicar's road tested, Alan's ready to take her for the big dip. The engine's humming and his baby's cruising smoothly. All the restoration pains are forgotten. Everything looks good, at least on the road.
Today is the official launch date for the Amphicar. Up until now, it's just been a fun restoration, but when you're taking a car into the water, things go through your mind. What if it sinks? What if the props don't turn on? What if nobody can come out and get you?
Alan's team assembles at the nearby marina for the water test. Now the moment of truth has come. Will the Amphicar live up to its billing and float? or sink the team's dreams. No one's more excited than Alan.
I'm going forward, looking down this steep incline saying, all right, here we go. It was scary. I cannot believe I'm doing this, guys. I swear. This is not normal.
In just a few moments, it's clear the hard-working crew has scored again.
It floats!
The Amphicar passes this test with flying colors, and Alan is safe and dry. The doors and wheel axles are sealed, and the exhaust sits high above the waterline. Navigation is a snap. Just turn the steering wheel for port or starboard, and you've got an adventure on the high seas.
Once I was in the water, I didn't even think about it anymore. Just kind of became this fun Disney ride kind of thing. Get out and go.
Does he know where the bilge pump is?
On land or water, test drives can be hazardous.
There goes that stick. I can't believe all that time with bodywork that he just went through a big pile of sticks. Oh my God.
Uh-oh. I don't see any prop action.
I don't know if I can keep this up. I'm only 27 years old. I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Alan's not stressing. He's cruising. The Amphicar seems to be seaworthy, essential for a high resale. At the moment, things are looking profitable with the Amphicar high and hopefully totally dry.
Back on dry land, where everybody feels safe.
We got collateral damage.
It's bone, man. Yeah, it broke a prop. That's okay.
Hit that tree limb.
We got a little bit of water in there.
Not much.
Nothing much. It's typical. Success.
Take it in the water, guys.
Door shut.
Yeah, it was moving.
With no major leaks and only minor damage, it's time to push the limits with a few more bodies on board.
Go ahead, guys.
But car boat cruising isn't for everyone.
I don't know about 3 people. You guys are crazy. Oh, man, get out of here.
Just what effect the extra weight will have on the Amphicar's seaworthiness is a big question. What has become clear is that taking a boat ride in a car is something special.
Sitting in the driver's seat, getting in there and doing it for yourself is an entirely different story. That's one thing I don't think I will ever do in my lifetime ever again is drive from land into water.
It's the getting back to land from the water that can be tricky and a little scary.
It is hard to steer. You gotta be moving.
Taking on water. We're taking on water. We're taking on water.
You know, can you imagine you driving, you don't know what to do, all of a sudden saying, water's coming in, water taking on water, water's coming in, then what do you do?
False alarm. The Amphicar is seaworthy, but the passengers are another story.
This is great. You gotta love this. They were so scared because they were like, oh, we're taking on water. We have all that weight in the car, and they're shaking it from side to side. Some water does come in. Now I got a bilge, man. That bilge is blowing water out. Yeah!
But a little water won't stop this Amphicar. It's been successfully sailing the seas since the 1960s. 40 years later, the Amphicar still delivers.
My concern today was we're going to prove to everybody the car can go on the water, can go on the road and be safe, and we did both of those. And we're excited because now we know that this car can prove itself. When it gets up on the block and the bidding starts, somewhere deep in my heart, I wish I had the money to say, you know what, bring her on home. But they have to move on. And to the next owner, they're going to have one of the finest restored Amphicars ever built. There we go.
It's been nearly 3 months of sweat, paint, polish, and shine to get Alan Lewenthal's latest creation, a 1967 Amphicar, up and running. The team's even gone into the drink with their water car to prove it's seaworthy. And today is the final test. The 35th annual Cruise Boca Raton South Florida Collector Car Auction showcases the cream of the crop of classic cruisers. Rare and exceptional vehicles are bought and sold for astounding prices under the big tent here.
He'll give $250,000 for this beautiful automobile.
Is a chance for car lovers to show off their favorite rides to an adoring audience and make some big cash. Alan's picked ritzy Boca Raton as the perfect place to sell his latest masterpiece and hopefully come home with a big score.
So just fold it up.
Alan's son, Max, also gets in on the action.
Get on the work early, man. At stake today for me, we have a 1967 Amphicar that's on the block. It's being premiered in the tent. We have a lot of good interest in it already, and there's a lot of money on the line, and I'm kind of getting nervous already.
Premiering in the tent is a big deal. All eyes will be on this one-of-a-kind car boat. This Amphicar has come a long way from its previous home under a tarp in Rhode Island. In the past 3 months, Alan's dropped $15,000 to purchase the Amphicar and another $70 grand in parts and labor for a total of $85,000. But there's really no way of quantifying the effort that's gone into restoring this classic. No detail has been overlooked. Every piece of the car has been lovingly restored to its original condition, ready for an appreciative buyer. Alan's set a minimum amount called a reserve, at which he'll sell the car. It's $85,000, so he can break even.
If the car does not meet our expected reserve today, it's going to go back to Marquis for another sale later on. It's part of the lifestyle of being in this fast-paced lane of collectible cars. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You ready? Go ahead, push it. There you go.
There's lots of interest in the Amphicar, but car collectors drive a hard bargain, particularly in this buyer's market. Will Alan's classic catch a well-heeled bidder's fancy? Let the bidding begin.
Okay, how much would it be? Who'll give 500,000? Who'll give 100 to start? 30 I got, 40, 30 now, 40, 40,000 I got, now 50, 50,000, now did it bid 40, now 50, 50,000, now did it bid 40, now 50, 50, what about 50? Who'll give 55?
It's slow going. The bidding is way below the reserve price of $85,000, the minimum Alan's hoping to get. The auction house is putting the pressure on Alan to lift his reserve and sell the Amphicar to the highest current bid.
I'm not going to lose $20,000. That's a lot of cash to just walk away from.
The tension is high. Alan won't budge, but the auction house wants their commission. If the car doesn't sell, they don't make a penny.
I told you where I need to be, man. If you make that bid, I'll give everything else after that to charity. Make that bid. Let me talk to him.
Could a last-second call push the bid over the top and make Alan back his money?
Mark? Hello, Mark?
While Alan tries to close the deal with Mark, the auctioneers work the crowd over to keep the bidding afloat.
I told the auction company the reserve is 85, and anything after that, if anybody else bids after that, then you would get, whatever. It would just go to charity.
59, last call. Anybody else? 59, did you want to do it? 59.
Alan can't get Mark to meet the reserve price, so the high bid is only $58,000.
Can we sell it?
Today wasn't our day. We'll live to see another day, and we'll take it to another auction, or we'll take it somewhere else and we'll sell it. I'm not upset about it. In the right market, that car will sell for all the money and more. Next steps is I'm going to go out to dinner, relax, go back home, and start working on my next project. That's what I do.
It's been a long road for Alan and his Amphicar. Even though the car didn't sell today, he's undeterred. He knows it'll take the right time, the right buyer, and the right inspiration before he finds someone awash with the cash to meet his price and sail away with one of the most unique vehicles ever built.